Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Business in Calgary podcast powered by Sonic Coaching. I'm your host, Oliver Basner. And I'm excited today with my guest. I've known David for quite a while. Our guest today is David Wallach. He's the president and CEO of Barclay Street Real Estate here in Calgary. He's also the co-host of the radio show Calgary Next on AM 770. And you might remember him because he was on the cover of Business in Calgary magazine January last year. So welcome to the show, David.
Thanks for having me.
So, David, you've had an interesting journey landing in Calgary. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, landing in Calgary was really a journey because we left Tel Aviv when we immigrated with our three kids on December 28, 1998, and it was plus 25 when we left Tel Aviv, and we landed at minus 18. So that's within a few hours. That was our welcome committee.
Shock to the system.
My wife goes, where did you bring me? And I said, if you want to get a little bit warmer, get into the freezer because the freezer at home is only minus 7. I don't know if people know that. So that was a kind of a fun anecdote, but we're very happy with the move. We're very happy to be living here, and we love the city, we love the province, we love the country.
We love having you here.
I hope so.
Most days. So, you have a really fascinating story about, how you got into the business, because I know you purchased the business and there's when you and I talked about it, I really want you to share that with the listeners. Tell us about that a little bit.
So after we immigrated, what happened is the government lost my medical. Typical
Right.
government, bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So I had to do medicals again, send them to Israel, to Tel Aviv, to the embassy. Then it goes to Paris.
Right.
Meanwhile, I had a few months here that I couldn't work because I didn't have the license to work.
Right.
And we were waiting for a landed immigrant process to be complete. So I was traveling around the city. I was looking at the city. I talked with a few business people. I talked with a few people from different industries. I even went to Bordeaux I thought maybe I'll go into the wine industry. And I realized that real estate is kind of on a upswing in Calgary. That I'm talking 99.
Yeah.
So I decided to go and take the real estate course. So I did the real estate course at the time, and I got my license as an associate.
Right.
And I decided that I'm going to do commercial, not residential. I wanted to deal with business people and do business and transaction, not emotional, which is more on the residential side. It's more
Right.
emotional.
Yeah.
And then I joined what was at the time to Road Real Estate. Some of the companies would not hire me because my English at that time wasn't as good as it now.
Right.
My accent was worse than now.
Yeah.
And I was 40 years old, so it's not kind of the typical person they hire. John Turod said one thing. He said, "If he's a good guy, hire him," and they did hire me. My start day, everybody remembers because it was February 14, 2000, which is Valentine's Day. So everybody remembers my first day in the company. And in 2001, John decided to sell the company. I was invited to be part of the people that buy the company.
Right.
We were 8 partners at the time, equal partners, including John. And they asked me to kind of deal with all the financials. In 2003, they appointed me as the president. And then in 2004, we bought John's last shares out and changed our name to Barclay Street Real Estate.
Right.
In 2009, I got an agreement with the rest of the owners that I'll buy their shares, and I bought all the shares back. I bought all the shares, the company's shares, and they all still were the company. And I really appreciate that they stuck with the company. And I had 2 minor partners for a while, but now I'm back to 100% owning the company.
Okay. And how's that?
It has there are nights that you kind of awake.
Right.
There are nights that you sleep better. I think that's every entrepreneur. It's not something that is unique for me or for the company. But I enjoy it. I enjoy working with people. I enjoy going to the office. I don't see it as work. but I think that at the end of the day, I think it's more about the transaction and the people that I'm really excited to be working with. I always joke about it. You can, on my business card, it says I'm a broker or president. I can't even remember. But at the end of the day, I'm a VP of HR. And I love the transactions. I love to be involved in transactions. I love
Right.
to give advice. And today at my age and my experience, I started sales in 1985, doing sales, so 40 years ago. I love mentoring. So I love talking with the young brokers, give them advice. Even the veteran brokers come to me sometimes with questions, what to do with this deal, what to do with this deal. And that's what I
Right.
love. That's what I enjoy.
That's great. So, when you're talking about your veteran brokers and you're talking about your new brokers, they're all in sales, right?
Correct.
Everybody's a salesperson.
Correct.
So how do you motivate them?
Um,
What's the secret sauce?
I don't know if there is a secret sauce. I think that motivation, I always say, I want to have people that have, drive.
Of course.
I can teach them real estate.
Right.
If you don't have the drive, probably you don't fit my company and our company. And the reason is, don't forget that salespeople, especially in our industry, don't have a base salary. They eat what they kill. So if you don't have the drive to go out and eat what you kill, and you don't have the drive to hunt, I don't think this is for you. So I think their motivation comes from their success. I remember I don't broker any more deals. I refer all my clients to the other brokers.
Right.
But people asked me a few years ago, when is it that you feel good about what you do? I said, I feel good when I get the two signatures. The money can come 3 months later. But once I get the deal done, meaning the deal went firm, that's when I'm happy. Those are the guys that work at Barclay Street Real Estate. People that are excited to hit the gong when they close the deal. The deal may, when they get the deal unconditional, the deal may close a month, 2 months, 3 months later, and that's when they'll see the money.
Right.
But that's what drives them, is that win.
The win.
The win. In sales, if you don't win, if you look at compare the Olympics to our industry, how many times in our industry is there silver or bronze medal? None. It's either the gold medal, it's either you
Or
win
zero.
or zero.
Absolutely.
Olympics, you can be number 2, number 3 and be proud of your medal. In our industry, if you're not gold, you're zero.
Yeah, you're not eating that month, right?
Yeah.
So because you're on 100% commission. It's interesting because at Sonic Coaching, when we work with clients, I've always said, hire the people who have fire in their belly, right?
Yeah.
Who are passionate, who are excited, who are hungry.
And they're in debt. They're in debt.
And they have a family.
Get them in debt, yeah. So they have to work to pay the debt.
Well, and family's a big motivator, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a good one, and they're in debt. That's a new one. So over the last, you've had some tremendous growth over the last few decades, and there's obviously challenges that come with that. So how do you get through the tough times? What keeps you going?
It's a great question, because the tough times, people look at the tough times as, COVID, or when oil and gas the price went down, and the whole market here in Calgary and in Edmonton got kind of, slow. I think the biggest challenge on downtime is when you don't have the right people. Because if you have the right people, and you have the right values, and you have the right vision, and you have the right way of running your company, you'll get there. There will be financial tough times.
Yeah.
You may have to put your hand in the pocket and get the money out instead of money in.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we are a people company dealing in real estate.
Right.
So if you have the right people that support you, work with you, and know the ups and downs, and you are very open with them, and share with them, that's how you go through the tough times. Yeah, as the owner, entrepreneur, you won't sleep at night, but you know that you'll get to the other side of that tunnel. And that's the key. Is the key when you have tough times, It's also a great opportunity to figure out who are the people that you want to go to war with, and it's also a good opportunity usually to change some people. But again, at the end of the day, it's all about having the right people with you through tough time. It's you want to know who is going to war with you.
Right.
That you have people that will go to war with you, and war I mean in terms of financial hardship, market is slow, all those things that
They're not going to abandon
yeah
ship
exactly
when that happens, right?
exactly.
So, we're in a world now, and you know this, right, where entrepreneurs are struggling more and more to find those great people. How do you attract those great people? How do you find them, in a market where everybody wants the same talent?
First of all, I would say that it's really tough to find them. And when you find them, you have to stick to them. And how you stick to them is you create a culture of transparency, of openness. You can create a culture of growth. So give them an opportunity to grow. When I do my town halls, there are two phrases that I always say at the end. I always say, make decisions. If you're wrong, say I was wrong, let's fix it and go on with life. But I support you making decisions. So people want to buy in, to make,
Right.
to feel their growth, to feel that they're growing. So that's one. The other thing I say is always at the end of every town hall to everyone that works at Barclay Street, I say, we have to go the extra mile because there's no traffic jams over there. And once you repeat this again and again and again and again, it becomes like water hitting the rock. The rock resides after time, meaning they live it, they feel it, they understand it. The third thing I will say is my clients are the people that work with Barclay Street Real Estate. If I treat them nice, they will treat the Barclay Street people nice, the Barclay Street clients nice. So for me, it's the small things I do year round. From time to time, I buy lunch for everybody. From time to time, we bring a massage therapist. We go and participate in some charity events. Those are the small things that. And yes, on Friday, some of our property managers went and did something. I don't even know what they did, but I know I paid for it. So, but they did something as a team building exercise
Right.
out of the office, right? I change. The other thing I do, every employee on their birthday, they take a day off on me. It's not part of their vacation, not part of their. We don't have any more also sick days. It's personal day. You need a personal day, just go. Don't bring me. I don't need to see a fake doctor note. I don't care what you do with that. If you need, so you have instead of 6 sick days, you have 6 personal days. Do whatever you want.
Right.
I'm okay with that. Because I got so many fake doctor notes, and that was a joke. And I said, why do I bother my employees to go and beg for this? And it's a waste of time for them. It's a waste of time for me, and we know that it's BS.
Right.
So those are the small things that you do to make this kind of a culture of I want to be here.
Right. Personal days, massage. I don't know, David. You might have a lineup tomorrow at your door, people wanting to come work for you. You don't give the massage yourself, right?
No, but from time to time I have this joke when someone goes to a massage, say, "Oh, she's busy. I'll do your massage." And so we have a lot of jokes in the office.
Yeah.
We don't have offices. We sit in a bullpen. I sit in the middle of the bullpen. So it's that. I left the office today. I have some documents on my desk. I know nobody will touch them.
Right.
Nobody will touch them.
Because there's that much trust with the team.
Yeah. I know that people don't lock their drawers. It's a culture of cooperation, collaboration, and transparency. The one before town hall I didn't say anything. Meaning I did talk, you know me.
Right.
But what I did is people sent questions for me. They could send it with a name or anonymous, and I didn't collect them. My office manager collected, Nikki collected the questions. I had to answer 30 some questions. So I stood in front of everybody and explained why we don't work. People ask me, why can't we work from home? People ask me about salaries. I stood in front of 50 people and I said everything. And I was open about everything. Nobody left because of that.
So let's go back to that, because right now every industry out there is talking about work from home policy, work Mondays, work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, take Monday, Friday from home. But you've got them in the office 5 days a week. And I know, because we know each other, even during COVID, right? You were in the office except for 1 month when it was mandated.
I think it was 2 months,
2
March
months?
to May 15.
So
So
what's the philosophy there? And do you think you lose people or not get people because there's no they can't once in a while work from home if they want? And what's your thought around why it's so important to be in the office?
I didn't lose any of the good people. Let's put it this way. I didn't lose any of the good people. Everyone that came with all those requests, they tried to push the envelope.
Okay.
My philosophy is we're in the service industry. Barclay Street is in the service industry. We do property management third party, and we do commercial real estate brokerage. We don't own buildings, we don't own merchandise, we don't own... So on service, you live and die on your service. I'm a firm believer that the service we give, and the reason I say it is because I saw it
Right.
in my office. The people that are not with us, when they worked with home, half of the work was not done because they were busy with their kids, they were doing laundry, they were doing the dishes, they were preparing meals, they were going to Safeway. I don't know what they did, but I can tell you people didn't get answers for days. And again, that's not good for service industry. People didn't get reports for days. That's not good for service industry. So I called everybody back to the office on May 15 when Calgary opened.
Right.
I made every possible, I would say, protection manner. We took every protection manner.
I remember that. You distanced, you did everything.
Everything by I think that our receptionist Rosa still today her favorite thing is Lysol, and we're 5 years after. But yeah, I leave one of the boardrooms. She'll go after me and Lysol the whole spray the whole thing. We spent a lot of money on Lysol and hand sanitizers, and we had signs everywhere, and we had a separation between people. We did everything, and guess what? We had maybe 2 COVIDs in 4 years. So it worked.
Right.
What also worked is we grew back because before COVID we lost some properties sold. We grew back, and our service is improving all the time. We're trying to improve it all the time. And sometimes you have to have a meeting right now in the boardroom. Let's go to the boardroom. But if you're at home and I have to zoom in and you're doing something else or you're walking the dog, I'm not talking about set meetings, but a company has many, many ad hoc meetings during the workday.
Of course they do.
You can't do it with working remote. I can tell you that if you look at the oil industry, I think some of them had Fridays off before COVID.
That's right.
Or Friday was completely casual, right? You want to come to office, come. You don't want, don't come. But that's a different industry, and that was a different time. Right now, I'm so happy to see that majority of the week, our parking lot has a sign, lot full.
It's a good sign, right? That
It's
means
a very
people are
good
back
sign.
in downtown Calgary.
Yeah, you try to go to a restaurant for lunch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like it's packed.
Yeah.
Now summer is it will be a little bit less, but even the Mondays in the winter, if you didn't make reservations, you were out of luck.
Right. Let's change gears for a little bit here, because there's lots of entrepreneurs listening, some veterans, some younger entrepreneurs, right? And you mentioned it earlier. You said, there's some sleepless nights, right? And I often joke, you're the last guy who gets paid. You have to make sure everybody else gets paid
Yeah,
first, right?
yeah.
And so, when you have those difficult times, and I know you've had some, in your days with Barclay, how do you get through it? Like, what do you say to that entrepreneur who's struggling? They have, more payroll than they have, money to pay, and they're really struggling right now. What do you say to them? How do you get through that?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes you have to finance it. You have to get money out of your pocket and take it out instead of getting in.
Right.
But it's stay the course. It's the one thing that I've learned when I see clouds. When I'm talking about economy,
Yeah.
when I see clouds, I immediately call the bank. I don't wait the bank for the call to call to. I'm not waiting for the bank to call me. If they call you first, it's not good.
It's bad. Yeah.
If you go to them and say, I see clouds, and it happened to me more than once. I see clouds, here's what I see, here's what's going to happen, I need your help. They don't want to see 50 people out of jobs. They don't want to see that. They want to see business continue, but they want to work with you. So be honest. Be honest as much as you can. Send them reports. Send them everything you have in your under your umbrella of financial analysis, right? Because we do very extensive financial analysis
Right.
every month.
Yes, you do.
We do key financial indicators. We do 5-year averages and compare it to each month to the 5-year averages. And of course, we do the balance sheet and financial statement every month.
Yeah.
Send it to the bank. Tell them, show them I was doing well here. I see clouds. Here's why. Tariffs, election, oil price, whatever it is, COVID, interest rate, inflation. I see clouds. We'll get over it. I need your help. And sometimes I had to sign also a higher personal guarantee for a while to get through that time.
Yeah.
But the key is stay the course. Stay the course.
And I also heard be proactive.
Always. That's good time, bad time. You have to be proactive.
Yeah.
You cannot sit on your hands. You sit on your hands, you die.
Yeah, I really like that because sometimes people go hide in their offices and and hope the bank doesn't call. You do the opposite. You phone the bank before they call.
Always.
Yeah.
Because I
great.
see what's coming.
Yeah.
I see by the amount of listings we have, by amount of deals on the go we have, by amount of property management agreements we have. I see, okay, there is a cloud coming to us, and I have to deal with this. So, always, always, always be proactive on the way you deal with, slow times. With the lull. Every business has a lull.
Yes.
You can't avoid it. Economy has a lot, a business has a lot. Some business made a lot of money when COVID was, and some people didn't make money. Some
Right.
people made a lot of money when oil and gas was down, but they sold something else. And so there's always a lull coming. We don't know when, or black swan call it, right?
Yeah.
Those black swans that you don't anticipate. But as soon as you see it, become proactive.
Great advice. Love it. So, entrepreneur owners, they're at the top of the company. You're the CEO. How important is it to lead by example, do you think?
Well, when
To walk your talk.
I think that the most important thing, the two most important things for a leader is lead by example and admit mistakes and fix them. I was a staff sergeant in the army, and as a staff sergeant, you learn to lead by example because I was in infantry and then artillery, so it's the front.
Yes.
You have to lead by example because then you'll have people follow you. In the army we have we don't say if you remember all those westerns. We're old, right? So
Yeah.
you remember all the western movies
Of course.
and movies about World War. The war in the States, the Civil War.
Civil War.
Do you remember Charge?
Yeah.
We say follow me. The command in our army is follow me. It's not charge. So it's ingrained in me since I was 18 in the army. Follow me,
Follow
follow
me.
me, follow me. Never ask anyone that works with you to do something you're not willing to do. Never ask them to do what you're not willing to do.
I completely agree.
And follow me. You know, I had breakfast with one of our property operators. I haven't spoken with him for over a year, and probably I didn't even hire him. One of my VP hired him.
Yes.
And the first thing he said to me when we sat down, I took him for breakfast. He said, "I really appreciate that you're always there. You're always first there. You're always in the office. Whenever I come, you're there." And I didn't. I said thank you, but for me that was kind of okay. Leading by example, that's what works, right?
And people notice.
Yeah. And the other thing is, always admit if you made a mistake and fix it. It's not just admitting, just also fixing it. Those for me are the two most important things in leadership.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I was coaching a VP a couple of years ago. And, you know, one of the things I said to him is that you have to own the mistake you made now to your team. And he didn't want to, right? And so he took my advice and he went, you know, to his team and he said, look, I screwed up. I messed up, right? And here's what I'm doing about it, right? And you know what? Afterwards, because I was there, afterwards, I had 4 to 5 of his team come up to me separately and said, I thought he was a robot before today.
Yeah.
If he can make a mistake, at least now I know I can make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to get maybe fired, right? So in other words, they realized they could take a risk, of course a smart risk and
Yeah.
educated risk,
Yeah.
right? But it changed his dynamic and his relationship with the team, owning that mistake.
It's rule for me, both of them are the same level of ruling for myself.
Rule 1 and 1.
Rule 1 and 1, exactly. Lead by example and own your mistakes and fix them. Fix them. That's
Absolutely.
the key.
I agree. You know, one of the questions I ask all our guests, David, as we're sort of getting to the end of our time is, you know, I see personal development and professional development really as one and the same. You know, what's been your favorite self-development book or tool that you've used to be successful that you can share with the listeners?
You know, the one thing that it's lonely at the top, they say, right?
Absolutely.
Especially
yes.
when you're an entrepreneur and you own 100% of your company. It's not, you don't have a partner, you don't have shareholders. For me, it was
And you can't really talk to your wife.
Yeah. For me, it was always being part of another group of CEOs. I started with tech, the executive committee, and then I moved to McKay. And for me, that ability, they're my sounding board when I have an issue. And I can call them, and you know, we meet once every 6 weeks or whatever, but I can call them. You develop a relationship that you can call them and deal with them whenever you need. For example, I'm now, full disclosure, I'm on one of your McKay groups, and one of the guys there, he meets me now once a month for coffee and gets I'm his kind of mentoring him.
That's awesome.
And I had an issue in the office. I got 2 of the group to help me. One is a lawyer, one is a real estate guy, and they helped me solve a problem in my office, and we didn't have to wait for 6 weeks. For me, this is kind of a very important tool that I started in 2003, 22 years ago. I had a break for a year or 2, but I always stuck to that program that you want to be in a room with other people that share the same issues, share the same opportunities, share the same kind of ideas or different ideas, and it's very helpful, not just when you have a problem. It's always helpful to listen to other people's problems because they will come to you one day. And the great thing about all of it is the great ideas you get from the information that is being shared, and it's a cone of silence. So I can talk about anything, whether it's my personal life, whether it's company, whether it's my vision. I know it's not getting out from that room,
It's
but I
not,
get a
no.
lot of ideas from other people that either went through it, read about it, know about it, heard someone in the family, and that is for me a great tool that I use for the last 22 years.
So that's a little bit of your secret on success, really.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, and you know, you did say I'm your McKay CEO Forum chair, so
Yeah,
I know you've been in more than one of my groups, and it's interesting because it's not only your issue that you get help with, but often other people's issue help you in your
yeah,
business as well, right? So,
exactly.
you know, you might get help with 5 things in that one meeting, right?
Exactly. As I said, you hear someone else's problem and you know you're going to face that problem in one day. So
Exactly.
now I know how to deal with it because we got the advice how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And shared experience, and
Shared knowledge.
shared knowledge, everything. That body of CEOs that meet once every 6, 7 weeks is a great tool for me. The other thing is, it's a day that kind of I don't answer emails. Only during the break that I have for lunch, I look at the emails. If there's nothing that is urgent, I won't even reply until the next day. It's kind of I'm just focused on that day and what's in it for me.
That's your day on the business.
Yeah, that's kind of the day for me to think about, to
Yeah,
adopt things, to see what fits, to see what some things don't fit.
of course.
So that's kind of for me has been a big tool over the last 22 years. In terms of books, I'm not a big fan of reading someone else's success because it may not work for me
Right.
or how they did it. I read a lot of history books. Both I read a great financial book that I highly recommend called Lords of Finance. I recommend to every business owner, and I also recommend to the Bank of Canada board to read it because they can realize their mistakes. Uh,
Did they listen?
but I read a lot of history books,
Right.
and that's kind
You
of
learn that way.
yeah.
Excellent. Well, David, you know, it's been great. Lots of nuggets, lots of words of wisdom from you, somebody who's been in the trenches more than once and more than
Yeah.
one trench.
Yeah.
And so thank you for spending the time here, you know, talking to me. So we've been chatting with David Wallach, the CEO of Barclay Street Real Estate here in Calgary. I'm your host, Oliver Basner, for the Business in Calgary podcast. Watch for our next episode. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for having me.